Hello, pre-algebra students. Welcome to Chapter 9, Section 2. We're going to get more into this idea of functions, and we're going to look at some certain kind of functions, and they're called linear functions. That's what this particular section is about. So as I write stuff down, get it down as usual, and bring your notes to class. So there's a lot of things to read here for me to talk about. And it's really important stuff here, and I couldn't think of a more interesting way than just talk through it real quick here with you. There's an equation such as this, where you have y and an x. You have two variables, y equals 60x. It's called linear equation. That's an important word. A linear equation is an equation whose graph is a line. So we're going to be doing that. We're going to be graphing values of x and y on a grid, and you're going to see that linear is always a straight line. The solution of a linear equation consists of two numbers, one for each variable, that make the equation true. Kind of underlining the main points here. A linear function is a function in which the graph of the solutions form a straight line. Kind of mentioned that already. One way to find the solutions is to make a function table, and that's really what we're going to look at today. A function table shows values for x and y and the function rule. The function rule, that's the equation, okay? When you're asked for the function rule, that is the equation. Like this up here was an equation. Y equals 60x is a function rule or an equation. All right, so what you're going to be doing is you're going to be making tables and then graphing them and continuing. I'm going to grab my highlighter here. Might be better for you. The x-coordinate of the point at which the graph crosses the x-axis is the x-intercept. Okay, that's right here. That's important to know. The x-intercept is right there because it covers the x-axis. It crosses the x-axis. This particular line here is a function. So the x-intercept is that point right here, and the y-intercept is this point right here. The y-intercept in that case, the value is 3. The x-intercept, as I mentioned a second ago, that's 2. Here's 0, 1, 2. X-intercept is 2. Y-intercept, there's 0, 1, 2, 3. Those are important points that you're going to have to be able to identify down the road. All right, since 2 points determine a straight line, the simple method of graphing would be to find the points where the graph crosses the x and the y axis and connect them. So we'll do that some, and we'll just find any points to solve and make graphs true here. You'll see what I mean as we get into it here. Number one, let's just look at what's happening here. The first part, 1 and 2, the instructions are right here. Copy and complete the table and use the results to find ordered pair solutions of the given function. All right, so here is the rule, okay? The function rule in this case is y is equal to x plus 7. So what they've done is they've selected some values for x, and we're going to see what is y when x is that value. What is y? Y is called the output, okay, or the range that we learned in the previous lesson. What is the output, y, when x is? And then you pick numbers. Now they've picked 4 here. All right, so they said if x is -1, what's y? So we're going to use this middle column here. Y is equal to x plus 7. Well, x is -1 plus 7. So if we work that out, -1 plus 7 is 6. So essentially what we have here, let's add another column right there, xy. We have the order pair -1, 6. So the solution is 6 when x is -1. If we did the same thing with 0, and we put 0 into this equation, we'd have 0 plus 7. That output would be 7. What if x is 1? 1 plus 7, 8. And on and on and on we go. And we could do this forever because there are an infinite number of possibilities what y could be if we changed the value of x. So we have infinite numbers that x could be, giving us infinite possibilities for y. Number 2, here's another example. If y is 2x minus 3, well, we would plug this in here. X is -2, so we would replace this x with -2. So you have 2 times x, so you have 2 times -2 minus 3. Now, I typically like this area to be a little bit bigger here, so I'm going to work it out over here on the side. I think you could squeeze it in just to show you where this is coming from. You have to now work out 2 times -2 minus 3. 2 times -2 would be -4 minus 3. Change that to addition and add it together, you have -7. So that's the ordered pair, -2, -7. And these would all be ordered pairs as we go here. So if we plugged in 0 here, we would have 2 times 0, minus 3. And I went ahead and worked it out for you. That would be 0 minus 3 would be negative 3. So that's another ordered pair, 0, negative 3. And for 2, you'd have 2 times 2 minus 3. Again, just plug in the x value in for that x. You'd have 4 minus 1 is 1. And if we put 4 in there, we would have 8 minus 3. 2 times 4 minus 3 is 8 minus 3, which comes out to be 5. So that's the ordered pair 4, 5 in that case. So there's kind of what we're doing here to start with. We need to understand how these tables work, and then eventually, before we're done, probably in the second video, we will actually graph some of these tables. So let's make a couple here. We're not going to do all 4 of these, but we'll do a couple to make sure, hopefully, you understand what's going on here. This says find 4 solutions of each function. Write the solutions as ordered pairs. All right, so here's what we have. We have basically we're going to do really a 3-column chart here. We have x. We have the middle column is the equation x plus 5. And we have the last column is y. And I don't think I need to have made that line quite so long there. We'll just do that for now, and we'll do the ordered pairs when we actually graph in a few minutes. So we're going to just pick some values for x. Now, you can pick anything you want. Typically, I like to keep the values around 0 and not get too carried away. So you just pick something. I'll pick negative 2 for x. So you have negative 2 plus 5. All right, negative 2 plus 5 is 3. So that's one of the solutions. When x is negative 2, y is 3. Another one here, a really easy one you should always pick is 0, because we love doing math with 0 because it's just that easy. 0 plus 5 is 5. I'll just pick another one, 2, 2 plus 5, 7, and I'll pick one more, 3 plus 5 is 8. And you could have picked, who knows, maybe you picked 1, or maybe you picked negative 1, or maybe you picked 5, 6, or 7. And that's just an example. They asked for 4 solutions. They didn't tell you exactly what x needed to be. So you just pick 4 values and list it, and that would be fine. I'm going to skip number 4 and move on to number 5, because these two I think are a little trickier, and it'll cover what you'll see there. Number 5, again, let's make a chart. We have x, we have 3x plus 6 in the middle, and we have y here. So again, the question is asking, what is the value of y when x is this value right here? So let's pick a value for x. Again, we should have at least one negative number, 1 or 2, 0, and maybe 1 or 2 positive. So if I put negative 3 in for that x, you'd have 3 times negative 3 plus 6. That's negative 9 right there. That's negative 9 plus 6. That comes out to be negative 3. So that's ordered pair negative 3, negative 3. Another value I picked for x was negative 2. So you have 3 times negative 2 plus 6. That's negative 6 plus 6. That's 0, right? That's negative 6 plus 6. 0, let's pick that. 3 times 0 plus 6. That's easy one, 6. And if we pick, let's just pick 1. 3 times 1 plus 6, 3. That's 9 right there is what that came out to be. And then the last one right here. Well, let's look at what happens when we have this equation, but we don't have y by itself. What we should do is solve this for y. Solve for y. So if you have negative negative x plus y, if I add x to both sides, that cancels out the x there, and you end up with y is equal to x plus 7. And your math will all of a sudden get a lot easier, kind of like it was in the previous questions. X is there, y is x plus 7. And make sure if you have a question on that, bring that, ask me about it when I see you in class. That's 7 plus x. Remember, you cannot add that together. It's not 7x, it's just x plus 7. So then we want to know, what is y when x is the value that we're about to pick? I picked negative 4. I picked negative 4, negative 2, 0, and 1. Why don't you hit pause here, work that out, and then restart the video in a moment and see if we agree on the values. So if you would, hit pause now. And presto, there are the values you should have gotten. 3, 5, 7, and 8 for those values of x. And I skipped the work there because we should be far enough along now where you're able to understand where those particular values came from. So that's video part 1 for this chapter. Now on the back side, I'm going to show you what we're going to do with these tables. We're going to create some graphs, do some graphing, And when you go to the next video, you do need a ruler or a straight edge to draw some lines. So get that available and then start video 2, and we'll take it from there.